So, the new Moana live action teaser trailer came out, and obviously, it was going to be a failure from the very start. My reaction to watching the teaser was equivalent to Fabio Jackson reacting to the Michael biopic teaser. Yeah, I'm not going to be breaking down what's in the teaser and all that because frankly, I don't care. I just want to say that, as we all know, this is a clear sign Disney live action films are still not going to go anywhere. No matter how many box office failures these movies are causing, especially the PR failure of Snow White, Disney is still going to be pumping out these movies because they know people are going to watch them anyways. Whether it's hate watching or just wanting to enjoy the movie, they're going to keep pumping it out, hate or not.
It's Hollywood, baby.
They've been doing this since 2010 with Alice in Wonderland, but to be fair, that was a good live adaptation opposed to the general views I've heard about the movie. Maybe I'm biased and I grew up with that movie from the moment it came out in theaters, but to me, it wasn't a soulless cash grab, but more of a sequel adaptation to the original movie. And also, yeah, I like Tim Burton, so that's probably the reason why I really like it. But, I'd be lying if I said I also didn't enjoy Cruella, which opposes most people, but then again, I didn't get any Cruella vibes at all. It just felt like an original character movie with Cruella's name and Dalmatians in it for the sake of it. But other than those and Cinderella, though, most of these Disney live adaptations are mostly copy and paste slop. And obviously, when you look into the teaser of Moana, it's the same deal. They literally came out with a sequel to the original animated movie this year, which also gave 2000 episodic segments of a Disney animated movie combined together to be a 1 hour length film just promoted on the big screen. I'm being honest, I didn't even know there was a teaser for it until an hour ago today. I did hear the news ages ago that there was going to be a live remake of Moana, and I was just as disappointed as I am now. But I didn't know it'd be so soon. The original movie is less than a decade old, and we're pumping out a whole live remake for it that is released before the movie turns 10 years old? The way there's no excuse anymore to make these live action slop films. The prior excuse we'd usually hear is to make an animated film relevant again and spark the magic up with soulless color grading and soulless CGI and soulless everything. This movie is still being discovered by people to this day. It's not considered a classic, nor even considered the experimental era of Disney. I was annoyed enough that we had How to Train Your Dragon straight up copying and paste only 15 years later, thinking that was a little too soon. But this, a 9-year gap? Now, Disney's excuse to get these movies out usually extends from just the nostalgia sales explanation, because obviously that isn't enough. Usually Disney will find criticisms of outdated themes in the original movies that were considered problematic. An example includes Rachel's whole spiral on Snow White not being a girl boss and being stalked, or Ariel being a girl boss steering a boat she obviously would not know how to use to strike Ursula over Eric doing that, which was like the stupidest point of the movie. That and the freaking, what's her name again? Aquafina being the freaking seagull, annoying my ears with that stupid, horrendous song. Oh my god. You know what song I'm talking about. It goes like, oh, I don't even remember. That's how irrelevant the song is. I can't even remember how it went. It was just so annoying. Another example I can give is maybe that one point when they cut out culturally sensitive lines in the Aladdin songs and fixing the brush up your Sunday salam like Muslims go for congregational prayers on Sundays. So basically, cultural themes that are considered outdated and problematic and stuff that isn't seen as progressive are usually the big excuse to make a whole new movie for some of these movies. But what problems did Moana have? The movie was not out for that long. Where are the issues behind it? I'm pretty sure they did a good job keeping consistent with everything already, so there's no point for this movie! And as much as I hate 90% of these live remakes, They could have done a live adaptation for something underrated. I've been noticing that Disney has been focusing on all these top movies in the charts for the past decades, but overlooking all the underdogs that failed in the market. You have so many experimental 2000 films you could revive. You could have done this with. Or even during the Renaissance. I'm being honest, an Atlantis live adaptation, if done right, would be great. Or Treasure Planet. I love that movie. Or Hunchback of Notre Dame. But knowing Disney for what they are now, they'd make a disaster out of all these movies. And no, I've been saying, so many people say the same things as me, but also saying to make a live action of Emperor's New Groove, but oh god, please, I'm sorry, please don't let that happen. I'm not going to see an animated llama Cusco prancing around with crappy CGI on the screen. It's not gonna happen. That's just me though. The most I'm accepting is a re-release of Emperor's New Groove, the original, on the big screen. Because that movie is still iconic and made me who I am today. And I think everyone should get a gist of that movie because it was just, I love that movie. It was the first movie that came out in the 2000s for Disney. The animated movie at least. So that set out the experimental era of Disney. And yeah, I've seen someone else say the same thing for a live action Chicken Little. The Chicken Little before was already a box office failure, I'm pretty sure. But you know what? That's an enjoyable movie too. I love Chicken Little because I grew up with that. So maybe I'm just biased there too. It is kind of a stupid movie looking back at it, but it's stupidly enjoyable, if you know what I mean. And Meet the Robinsons. Well, I don't really want them to touch Meet the Robinsons either. Actually, I think I wouldn't really mind a live remake for that too, as long as it's done well. It's done well, which Disney usually lacks and can't do well. But yeah, one thing I can give props with How to Train Your Dragon is, even though it's straight up copying and paste and it's kind of soulless, they did really good with the CGI and stuff like that. I just feel like, I don't know, didn't really warrant a remake when it's only 15 years old. That's not that old. But with movies like Meet the Robinsons, that's almost going to be, I think, 20 years old now. All these early 2000s movies, I think that we should like have a notice of like at least the ones that can be made into remakes. Because right now we only have Lilo and Stitch, and Lilo and Stitch, that was a whole disappointment of a remake. They got rid of not Jamba. They didn't get rid of Jamba. They got rid of, what's his name again? You know what I'm talking about. The main villain of the movie. They got rid of him for some reason, and then they made Jamba the villain. Like, what are you doing? I know that I rented it about, oh, I don't want full-on copy and paste law, but I also don't want you freaking assassinating characters and making weak, really, really weak villain adaptations of people who weren't even villains in the actual movie, or should I say aliens, not people. But yeah, so honestly though, my main point is just stream the original movie if you're feeling nostalgic. I don't know why that warrants watching a watered down, lazy, robotic version of the classic animation. Like many people, I thought the movie, when watching the teaser, had AI in it because of how unrealistic and crappy the CGI looks. Does that not tell you that maybe some things should stay in the animation medium? But yeah, the hate this time is 100% warranted. I don't know though, maybe it could be better than the Mary Sue Mulan movie, which by the way was recorded in a concentration camp in China, so I don't know if the outdated and offensive themes excuse from Disney works anymore. It's just a cash grab, to be honest. Disney doesn't care about cultural sensitivity or any of that. They're not an ethical company, guys. Obviously, we all know that. They just want our money, that's all. And yeah, we're all aware of this, but there's nothing much we can do about it because Disney ain't gonna change. They're a whole monopoly now, so we can't fix it at all. But yeah, if you guys liked my thoughts and want to see future videos like this, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get all notifications for my latest videos. I'm actually trying to rebrand this channel to something that's actually more me, because I'm a very opinionated person, and if I see something I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about it whenever I have the time. So stay tuned if you're interested in content like that, and yeah, peace out, guys.